Okay, so everybody, I think, needs to sign that or say that they're okay with that, right?
Valentine, yay.
Yep.
Okay, so already, oh, there's Marilyn.
Yep.
Okay, already I can't find my agenda,
Uh-oh.
but you know what? I sent it to our lovely district secretary. So I'll wait just a minute. We'll do introductions, but I don't know why I can't find things when I want it. Before, when I practice, it's all there, but okay. Can everybody hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay. It got so quiet in here. I was like,
I
oh my
know.
gosh. Did something go out or what?
Well, we're seeing the Zoom thing from
Okay.
from Lisa.
No, I think that was me.
I think that's Sue's screen. Can you,
Yeah. When I fool around and try to find things,
Sue, what would you
Got it.
like?
I've got it. My agenda.
Okay.
Yeah. So, well,
There
we
it
just want to make some introductions first, and I think we're going to go ahead and get started. It is 7 o'clock, and maybe some other people will join us. I'd like to just welcome you all here. As you probably know, I am a new district administrator. So luckily I have Jim here tonight, and he and I are working together, but he has done this job for many, many years. He did both K-Kids and Builders Club. And our illustrious governor said, oh, we need to share the load with him. So because I love builders, I started the builders 19 years ago. And because I wanted my grandson to have that opportunity, and it's still going strong. And I think almost every one of my special Kiwanis moments have to do with builders. So I'm delighted to be here. I'm delighted to be the district administrator. Delighted to work with Jim. We went to some fantastic meetings in Las Vegas. And before you think Las Vegas, we had no time for anything but meetings. Trust me. But it was jam-packed with information, and so we have tons of information to share with you. I don't want to overload you with information, and so we're going to kind of go quickly through that because I want to have at least a half hour for sharing of ideas. But we will overload you with sending you resources, and so we got so many resources on a flash drive. And Jim will be sending all of those resources out to you. Plus, I have a few more things that I will be sending out to you. So sorry if you get inundated with tons of resources, but there are some great resources out there. So when I started 19 years ago, there was nothing, no website, nothing. So trust me, this is really amazing. Okay, so let's begin, and I'd like to introduce our governor, Linda Henningsen. Would you like to say a word or two?
Thanks, Sue. First of all, my name is Linda Henningsen. I am the district governor this year. And I'd like to thank Sue for saying yes for the first time, not for the first time on anything, but the first time for builders. And I'd like to thank Jim for saying yes for about the 10th time for Kiwanis K-Kids. So anyway, thank you both very much. And I'd like to thank all of the rest of you who are joining this evening. I think you're going to find it's going to be an informative meeting. We did learn a lot in Las Vegas, and I'm grateful that we're sharing all that information this evening. So thanks everyone for coming on.
Okay, and I see that Mike has joined us. Welcome, Mike. And we're just getting started, and we're going to do some introductions. So I am going to introduce first you to Mike. And is it Wheats?
It's Mick Weiss.
Okay. Did he say that right, Mick?
He did. I hope you guys can hear me. Okay,
Yes.
I'm on my iPhone. Normally I'd be on my computer. But yeah, Mick Whites, and I'm at Northwest Junior High School in Coralville, Iowa.
Okay, and he's brand new. They just chartered, right?
Not yet, really.
Not yet. That's right. In March, you're chartering?
In March. You bet.
Yes. So a great big welcome to you, Mick. And you have lots of other people on here that welcome you, and will be sharing some information. And just know that we are all here to support you and help you with anything you need. So you have my email. If you need anything, just let me know.
Thank you so much.
Okay, then I'm just going to call on you because I'm going to go on my screen. So Marilyn, you're a not new person. So would you would you tell us your name, how long you've been in Builders, are you a Kiwanis or a faculty advisor or both? And that's it. Tell us that.
I assume you're talking to me, Sue?
Yes.
Okay. Actually, I'm not affiliated with Builders. That's Steve and Gary Hosek. I work with Sandy Shinus with K Kids, but I wasn't able to attend the K Kids. So I
Perfect.
was told to do this. And then I am the Kiwanis advisor for East High Key Club.
Okay. All right. Long time with that. Okay. Thank you very much. Yeah. Most of the information we have tonight it's going to be geared for Builders, but Jim will be sending out everything for all the resources for K Kids, and they're so much alike. In fact, Jim and I went to a lot of the same meetings. So yeah, thank you for coming, Marilyn. And then Jim will be sending out to the other Zoom meeting if you care to watch it too. Okay, John Rodriguez.
Hello, everyone. I'm John Rodriguez. I'm from the River City Morning Kiwanis Club in Mason City, Iowa. I am I work with Jim Pape. He's also in my organization. I am a advisor for the John Adams Middle School here in Mason City.
Okay, welcome. And how long is that? Just your 1 year?
I just started with that. We're trying to get them off the ground. We're working hard to get them going. Still, the pandemic has still had a little bit of effect on the kids. We're working hard to get them going. But hopefully, this will be up fully running very soon, and they'll be very successful. I'm quite certain of that.
Great. Well, thank you so much. Okay, Steve.
Can you hear me? Okay.
Yes.
All right. Steve Wistoff. I'm co-advisor with Gary Hosek at Lux Builders Club, Lux Middle School. And the club's been going for right around 10 years. I remember I was at the charter banquet about 10 years ago, and it's still going. I've worked with them on and off, and that's about it.
Okay.
We're with the Capital City Kiwanis Club.
All right. Perfect. All right. Let's see. Did I introduce Lisa? I forgot. I had that right at the beginning to thank Lisa. She's our district administrator, and we could not get by without her. So I thank her for giving up her evening and recording this for us and setting it all up. So thank you.
You're welcome, Sue.
And Mary Ann.
Yeah. Let me make sure here. I am with the Ames Middle School Builders Club. I am the Kiwanis advisor. I've been there for 5 years, and we are celebrating our 10th anniversary this year of our starting of our Builders Club. So I have been involved about half of the time since it started. And we survived the pandemic by meeting online for about a year.
Excellent. Okay. Thank you very much. Okay, Gary. Welcome.
My name's Gary Hosick, and as Steve said, I work with him at Lux Middle School as an advisor. I've been doing it with them for about 3 years now since I came back to Capital City Kiwanis Group. So
Excellent. Okay, thank you. And Jim?
Hi, Sue. So yes, so anyhow, I'm with River City, Mason City Morning Kiwanis, just like John Rodriguez. And we have a little different structure in our club. So we actually have 2 builders clubs, and now we also have a K Kids club. So I'm kind of like the umbrella for all 3 of the clubs. And then we have a Kiwanis advisor for each of those clubs. So we just find from a communication standpoint that works out pretty well. So we started our first builders club at Lincoln Intermediate, and that would have been maybe 5 years ago. And of course, we had a little break with COVID and everything. But yeah, so it's lots of fun and lots of enthusiasm. And the biggest challenge always seems to be a faculty advisor, but we've been very fortunate in getting the right people on board. That's it.
Great. All right. All right. Emily.
Hi, I'm from the Fremont Kiwanis Club in Fremont, Nebraska, and I'm the advisor now, just probably for the last, it's been for 4 years, but 2 years of COVID, we didn't meet at all. So this is my second year of really being in. I'm the only advisor of this 20-year club. January 24th, I just read that, 2003. So it's been 20 years that we've had this Builders Club. We've had some great Kiwanis advisors in the past, but I'm number basically third advisor.
Wow. Wow. In 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
That's amazing. That's dedication. Very nice. Okay, Jim, did you want to say anything?
Sure, I'll say hello to everybody. And I am a Builders Club advisor for the first time this year with Mick. And I did do K Kids for about a dozen years. In fact, we had a couple K Kids club, but they're still on hiatus. They're not meeting, but I can tell you stories and stories about K Kids, but Builders Club, they're just that much more capable. So I'm excited and look forward to Sue's presentation here.
Okay, well, welcome to Builders Club. You've been the administrator, but now you're going to be an advisor. You kind of did that a little bit backwards, but that's okay. That's great. So some topics we're going to discuss tonight, things that we learned and some things that we didn't even know. So we thought it was important to share the changes in the youth protection policy. And those of you that have been around for a long time, it was always the youth protection guidelines. And now it's the youth protection policy. Almost more serious than it's ever been before because of the world we live in and because of everything. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. We're going to talk about the photography release forms, mental health initiatives, diversity. It's supposed to be equity. Oh my goodness. Equity and inclusion. And then what's next? And then we're going to share some resources and share experiences. So I'm going to put up the youth protection policy. And if you're like me, you've seen this forever, and they always update it, and I always look at it, and to me, it doesn't look like anything has really changed. But Jim sent me the revision that they made with all these lines through it, and I'm like, oh my gosh, they really did make some changes. Now, most of them were just wording, but there were some changes, and especially the word policy. I think that's important. This is not just kind of a friendly little advice anymore. This is a Kiwanis policy, and it's very serious. One thing I just want to point out, they call now a chaperone it can be a Kiwanis member, a faculty member, a parent, a legal guardian, or a person who's in for the parents. Must be 21 years old and approved by the school or the agency. So one thing they talked about that we didn't quite realize is a minimum of when there's a single day event. And like at our school, they go out and they walk at one of the walks. I can't remember which now, for Down syndrome, I think. And so it's away from school and it's a single day event. And there's a minimum of 1 adult per 50 students. And of course, you want more than that, right? I mean, I know we would have at least 5, but just to be covered by the policy, we do need to have 1. And that person, when it's away from school, a chaperone that's not a Kiwanian does need to get a background check. So I don't know if they had that before, but that's something I didn't realize. And I'm going to have to make sure now that our faculty advisors has that when we go on this walk. We're probably not going to do overnight stays. Transportation, I know we can't say this enough. The best practice is the rule of 3s. Always 3 people, 2 students and 1 adult, 2 adults and 1 student. Never, never, never one-on-one. If you have to, like in the past, I have 2 students. So I drop the first one off, we're one-on-one. So I have them call their parent, tell them where we are and that we're going to be there in 5 minutes. So just make sure you're covered, that you always have 3, or that you've talked to the parents, gotten their permission, whatever you need to do. But and then we probably know about medication. You have to have written permission by the parent. They talked a little bit about we are the trusted friend of these students, and sometimes they want to come and tell us some things. And we really can't get involved in any of this. So if they come and talk to you, especially one-on-one, again, try to steer them away and to find, if they want to tell you something personal, steer them away and find somebody else, that can be there with you. And if it's a situation, you go and talk to the appropriate people. Do not ever try to advise them. We're not there to advise. We're just there to get them the support they need. And I know I always think of this, social media. We cannot ever initiate any of like a Facebook, conversation or a text or anything. We cannot initiate it. And it's really probably not a good idea with builders to do any of that one-on-one. I always contact the parents, with texting or emails or newsletters or anything. I never do one-on-one. So then there's one other thing that is, let's see here. Okay, this is, and we're going to be sending all this information out, but these were kind of some interesting scenarios. And I'd just like you to look at scenario 2. A faculty advisor works with students on school premises and attends events outside of the normal school activities, such as overnights with students. So the faculty advisor will be required to have an approved background check through Kiwanis International. And that's what we were saying, if they're away from school for any reason, and they're doing a builders or activity or K-Kids, they need a background check. Of course, on any overnight stays, I can't imagine us doing any overnight stays, but that goes the same. And we do have special training now through, is it called Presidium? Is that how you pronounce it? Yeah. And so I'm not going to go into all that now, but that's kind of the agency that does all the training for this. And there is some wonderful training through Presidium that I'm sure we'll send out. I know I did it as a district administrator, and we will send out some of the information on that. So I'm going to stop this one.
Yeah, I think the Presidium is sent to all the Kiwanis advisors. They should have it on their education.
Oh, okay,
portal.
great.
I think so, but if that's not true, somebody needs to let me know.
Okay, I was not really familiar with that, so thank you for telling me about that. Let's see, we talked about, okay, Youth Protection Week now has changed to October 9th to the 13th, and that's when every club needs to go through training. So I hope that you kind of make sure that your club does that, and anybody in your division, that might not know that, but it used to be in September, and it's like there was so much going on in September at the beginning of the year. I was really happy when they moved it to October. And then be sure that your secretary marks it on the monthly report, because I'm a new secretary and I didn't know that. And so Kiwanis, or I think maybe Lisa, said, hey, you haven't done your reporting. And I said, yes, we have. So I didn't mark it on there. Another thing that we learned was, and
Sue, can I
Yes.
just jump
Yes.
in?
Yes.
The advisors for our SLPs, especially K-Kids and Builders Club, are probably more familiar with youth protection policy than maybe anybody else in the club. So I would suggest you take the lead on this during Youth Protection Week. Approach your club president or club secretary and say, this needs to be covered, and maybe offer to present. It only needs to be 5 minutes, but there is information available from Kiwanis International that you can get from the website, from their Kiwanis.org. That's very good. And so if you need more direction on how to get that information, contact me and I'll try to put some links in. But really, I think our advisors are probably the best people to talk about youth protection. I mean, you're sort of the guardians of our service leadership programs, and we need to take an active role. That's maybe just me talking out of turn.
Oh, that's an excellent point. You're right. So another thing is, and this is not new, but there's a photography release form from KI that builders and K kids are supposed to have their kids sign every year. And I did not realize that. So we thought the school had one and that covered it. But there is actually one from KI, and I will be sending that out to you, that form. Everything is on the website, but sometimes it's a little hard to find. So I'm going to be sending that out to you. Even though if you maybe didn't do it at the beginning of the year, I suggest you go ahead and do it. That's what we're going to be doing. But yeah, I really was amazed that that's been around a long time, and I did not know that. So we talked a lot about mental health, and I know, you know, we're all concerned about that. We hear all the numbers about, you know, and it didn't all happen because of COVID. They were having mental health issues in students before that, but COVID made it a lot worse. So there was a group called Erica's Lighthouse.org, and they presented at our meetings. And I put their website here. They have tons of resources if you'd want to know, but they are working on you know, initiatives to help. There are so many kids with depression and going to see the doctors and everything. So if you want to know more about that, and KI also will be doing more things regarding mental health. And I know our governor said she's going to be having some things. Is that correct, Linda? Regarding mental health?
Sorry, I was muted. Yes. Sonia Almodovar is putting together an initiative that deals with mental health. And she's calling it the Kindness Crew Project. And we actually will be getting that information out to the lieutenant governors this coming week. And we will also be talking about it when we have our retreat March 18th in Wahoo, Nebraska. So we are really trying to get that out and get that going.
Great. And KI is also. So they have promised more things coming. And this Erica's Lighthouse had some fabulous resources also. We also talked about diversity and equity and inclusion, and had some good discussion on that. But when I looked up, and if you want more information, you can go to Kiwanis.org diversity, but what it said was to ensure our vision that all children, regardless of background, wake up in a community that believes in them, nurtures them, and provides support they need. And so to ensure that vision comes to life, our Kiwanis family must welcome, include, and serve individuals with diverse backgrounds, talents, and perspective. We commit to love and value and respect all people. So someone got up and said, you know, we don't have to really understand all this. We don't have to, you know, necessarily even agree, but these are our kids, and we need to love and respect them and nurture them and support them. So if you want any more information, it's on Kiwanis.org/diversity. And they did say there will be additional resources coming up. Are there any questions or any comments about any of this so far? I know I'm talking quickly.
Yeah, I've got a question, Sue. This is regarding the photo release.
Yes.
I don't know if what we did is legitimate or not, so I wanted to run it by you. But at the very beginning of the year, we had a permission form that we created for people joining a Builders Club. It included 3 things on there. It included the permission to participate in Builders Club. It also included permission to be transported by in a van or in our vehicle to certain events. And the third one was a photo release. And we had it all in one form. Is that okay? I mean, does it have to be the official form?
I think that's just fine. Yeah, I think that's just fine. You're getting, you know, the idea of what it's supposed to be. So that's great. Thank you.
Okay. So I think I'm going to differ just a little bit. When I was with the K kids, I created my own form because it was, you know, there's all this legal language, and it looked like you were giving up all rights to your child when you signed the form, and I kind of dampened it down. But I was told specifically, use the form because that is specific language that needs to be approved before Kiwanis International could ever use any of the photos. and it should be approved before even the local clubs could use the photos. Really, don't change the form, get their approval. And what I've found out is that parents see this form over and over and over again from many different avenues, whether it's scouts or 4-H or big brothers, big sisters, or school. So they're generally aware what this is about, but you need to use the real form. And the form has changed a little bit. What I saw out in Las Vegas was a little bit different. I mean, at least the way it was laid out. And so get the latest form and use that one. I'm sorry, Steve, but I think it's just safer that way.
Well,
No,
and
that's good. I just wanted to clarify that.
yeah, and I think you're fine for this year, Steve, and then maybe next year do that. But as Jim was saying that, I remember going to risk management things at KI, and their insurance is very specific,
Yeah.
you know. And so when you said that about the language that has to be in there before they'll approve it, I think you're right, Jim. So, but Steve, if you want to send that to me, I could send it in and ask them, but I have a feeling that Jim's correct.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
And I might add, we had a student that did not give permission.
Right.
And so we had to be extremely careful and not let anybody, anybody take a picture of that child when they were involved in Builders Club in any way.
Right.
We were always had to watch very carefully for one child out of the whole group, And the sad part was she was the one that always was right there in front and always the one that was the most able to be photographed, and we'd have to pull her out, so you felt bad doing that. But I don't know if she really understood, but her parents were very, very firm about it.
Yeah. I've run into that one time too. So yeah, it's kind of a different world than when we grew up. So
That's right.
And then Sue, one more question. So that kind of covers anything that's going to be like on Facebook or in media or on any of those things. How about if I'm taking pictures and putting them into a Google Drive that's shared with the parents? Would that also need to be included for that, or is that necessarily?
I'll speak to that. Yes, any photographic representation of any kid, no matter where it goes. I mean, if it's going to one parent, there might be another child in that picture. You got to be careful. So I would get the form signed, and then you're covered.
Okay.
And
Thank you.
again, I think most parents are sort of used to signing those forms. And anyway,
and they have to find one for the school, so that, like you said, they're used to it, and most of them I think appreciate it. But yeah, thank you for asking that. So some things that they said were coming up, there's going to be more global connectors for builders. I don't exactly know what that means, but maybe pen pals from people in another country or something, which would be really fun. Builders and Key Club are going to work together on a UNICEF project. Again, they didn't tell us what it was, but that sounds kind of exciting. I think K Kids and Key Club are already working together. Is that right? Or will be?
No, it's K Kids and Circle K are doing brick by brick.
Okay.
So it's kind of exciting. Yes.
Okay. All right. There's going to be additional diversity, equity, and inclusion resources, and there's going to be online training for advisors. They said there was quarterly calls to advisors. I don't know if there have been. I didn't know that, but that's what they said is coming up.
There has been, and we'll do a better job getting the word out. Yeah.
Yeah. And then again, they sent us home with tons of resources on a flash drive. Everything is on their website, and their website is updated, and they've done a pretty good job of it. There is a Facebook page for advisors. I didn't know if you knew that, but if you're a Facebooker, you can get on Facebook and Google K Kids or Builders Club faculty advisors or Kiwanis advisors, and there's a Facebook page. So I see on there, they kind of share ideas and ask things. So you might want to do that. We will be sending that out, and all the stuff that you saw here today. I also have one of the gals with me sent some fun ideas to share. Let's see here if I can find them. Let's see, it was on Excel. So here's some Builders Club activities, projects, and fundraisers. And she sent a whole bunch of them. So I will send that out to you. And then we're going to be sharing some ideas tonight. But isn't this kind of cool? So lots of neat ideas and things that she did. So her name was Judy. She was a district administrator from, I think, I don't know, New Jersey or someplace. And so she sent all those out to us. So I'm going to be sending all of that. So you're going to be getting so many resources. You're not going to know what to do. So I think I made it in a half hour. I do want to say that, oh yeah, we're going to do some sharing now, but is there anything that you want to talk about before we start sharing?
I was just going to say, and I'm sorry again, Sue, this is your
That's
program,
okay.
but
Nope.
on the diversity, equity, and inclusion, there was an article by a Circle K young lady that is a vice president, I think, of Circle K about why pronouns matter. And it was very enlightening to me, and I will be sharing that information. And I walked right into it. I was at the conference and I was concerned about K Kids. I'm the K Kids administrator, and I said, this really anything you deal with an elementary level, this is not, something that they're not that aged yet. And I was nearly blown out of the room. It's just, even elementary kids are thinking about, why pronouns matter. So it just, especially you get to middle school, junior high, this is pretty important things, information. And like Sue said, we're there to include everybody. We want everyone to feel safe and at home in what we're doing. So I hope everybody takes a moment to read it. So that's it.
Thank you. That was very enlightening. One of the district administrators has a transgender child. And so she said, if anybody, has any questions, let me know. So I did go over to her because I hate to admit it, but I don't quite understand pronouns or what the use of them or anything. And so she very nicely, just explained it to me. And so, yeah, it was really nice. And I have to say, we felt so appreciated as district administrators and anybody working with our SLP. So I want to share that with you too, how important your job is, how the kids need us more than ever before. And we just are really hoping to open some new builders clubs and K-Kids this year. So if you have any ideas of any places, you could let me know. And that's part of my job, to try to help open them. Part of my job is to help you, support you in any way you can. So please reach out to me, if you need anything, if you have special something going on, let me know and I'll try to come. Jim and I are kind of trading a little bit. If there's things in Iowa, he might, go to them. And if there's things in Nebraska, if he can't go, I will go to them. So I forgot to say, but I'm in Nebraska and he's in Iowa, obviously. But so are there any other comments? Did everybody bring your homework assignment? And tell us a favorite fundraiser or a project, or do you do anything for Builders Week or K-Kids Week? I know the Builders Week is March 20th to the 24th. And when is K-Kids, Jim?
It's February 20th through 24th. That's the same week, a month earlier. So.
Oh,
yeah.
okay. So it's kind
But again, you can adapt that. And I tell you, our Builders Club at Northwest Junior High in Coralville, we're moving it up to coincide with our charter party. So, you'll get a few more, resources from Kiwanis International, maybe right before the official Builders Club or K-Kids Week, but you use it to your advantage. Don't feel like you got to contort to what Kiwanis says. So,
but do look ahead too, because they do have some great resources on the website. And if you haven't looked at the website, and I know I sound like a broken record, but just get on it for a little bit because they really have some great resources. But I really like the ones for their special week. They have something new every day. And I know even if you do just something little with it, in our builders, they just get up and announce it every day. And then, but there were a lot of ideas of things to do. So Okay, who would like to go first and share a few ideas? Don't everybody talk at once.
I guess I can go if
Thank
nobody
you.
else wants to. First of all, I would say that in terms of a fundraiser, we are not allowed to fundraise. That's one of the things that the school imposes on all clubs there, that they are not allowed to fundraise. So instead, this year we have done a book drive for the Little Free Libraries and Raising Reserves program in Ames, and they raised 800 books for the book drive. So that was what they did instead of a fundraiser. And their project this year was, we had a hoarding situation where they found 29 cats in a van, and the week we visited the animal shelter, and so they wanted to make cat blankets, so they made fleece cat blankets for them. Let's see, in terms of Builders Club week, we always have a problem. It seems to always fall on our spring break week off. And so in the past, we've done posters ahead of time to talk about Builders Club during Builders Club week and done some things, but I think the idea of maybe having it the week after would work this year.
Sure. Yeah, it doesn't have to be that week, but yeah, that's a great idea.
And they have they planned all their service activities coming up for the second semester. And some of them are things like they give out school supplies in the fall. It's called Blast Back to School, and they need to collect school supplies. So they're going to collect school supplies. And they have done, in the fall, they did a food drive. So they like to do those sorts of things. And we've found that recently, the school comes to us saying, can you do this project? So that's kind of a good feeling. And we feel very good support from the administration. We will be getting a new principal at the middle school next year. So I have a little concern about that, but this is our third year for our Kiwanian, our faculty advisor. In the 10 years we've had, this is our fourth advisor, and that's not an easy thing to always find. So
Right.
I understand that, but that's kind of, unless you have some questions for me, that's kind of what I wanted to share.
That's great. How often do you meet, Marianne?
We meet twice a month, and we had to change the time we meet. It'd be ideal if we could meet the school day. This year, they changed the starting time for this middle school. They moved it ahead. So we ran into lots of problems meeting after school. So we meet at 7:30 in the morning. And that creates a little bit more problems because before children needed transportation, we had tokens for them to take the Sci-Ride bus home, and things like that. Now we totally depend on parents getting them there. So it makes a little bit of difference. But yeah, I wish we could meet the school day. The high school Key Club here they have what they call a plus period every day, and they are allowed to meet during the plus period. But the middle school has no free periods where we can meet during the school day.
Yeah, ours too. Thank you.
Mhm.
Anybody else?
In Fremont, we have done we've used the LaRue grant twice now. It's been really awesome to be able to use that. Last spring we had, they wanted to host a thank you party for all of the teachers and the staff at one of the schools. So they collected their own school supplies, and they had drawings for the teachers to be able to have those school supplies and use them, and then provided food and just a thank you party for the teachers. And then this year we're now doing fundraisers for, they've chosen a local animal shelter, so Forever Home. And we baked cookies and decorated them and sold them we have tool schools. So we do 5th and 6th grade and 7th and 8th grade, so that there's no break from K Kids when they come off of K Kids. It's a huge age range though, from 4th to 8th grade it's a huge age range. But I think it works okay. We just are in 2 different schools. So we try to meet at both schools twice a month. So one at one school and one at another. And we need to walk the kids over to the other school. So we have a very cold Monday that they do that this last month. But anyway, so yeah, so we're also we raised $380 for that from that cookie fundraiser this last year, and using a LaRue grant to help with that. as well. And then we are going to be looking into, our community does a philanthropy grant for youth. And so we're applying for that to also do some more forever, this shelter, this home, this animal shelter, to make blankets for the cats and for the dogs. And then another drive for all the other supplies that they might need with kitty litter and food and toys and things like that. So that's what we're doing this spring.
Very nice. Thank you. Is there anybody that does not know about the LaRue grant?
I don't know. Yeah, you can explain it what it is.
Okay, well, each club, the LaRue, this man named Jim LaRue passed away and he put some money aside and he wanted to be for the SLP. So for 3 years, and I think this is the 3rd year, if I'm not mistaken, you could apply and get $100 for your Builders Club or your Key Club, or maybe not Key Club. Yeah, Key Club and Cape Kids. So we applied last year and we applied this year. And it's a real short form on the website, Kiwanis website.
It's almost like a free $100
It is. It's free.
to use towards your SLP. And we really encourage you to take advantage of that. Some clubs haven't, but we hate just seeing that money sitting there and not being used.
And it takes 2 minutes to apply. Truly, it's online. It couldn't be simpler.
Awesome. Thank you.
Mhm.
So I can, I can add a few things for River City, Mason City, our Builders Club. We are really, really fortunate because we have a couple of really neat built-in fundraisers that our adult Kiwanis Club has, and then our Builders Club helps us with. One is the fly-in breakfast, and we have pilots that come in from all over the country, and we serve a big breakfast and sprinkle donuts for John. And yeah, so it works out really, really well. And so then we pay the Builders Club kids for bussing dishes and cleaning tables and that kind of thing. And then also over Memorial Day weekend, we have our humongous band festival parade. And so the kids they get to walk in the parade, and then they get to clean up the parade route. And for that, they are paid handsomely. So all of those dollars can go towards whatever they want. And so the kids have to come up with how they want to spend that money under our direction, of course. So the one thing that I thought would be really interesting is 3 years ago, we had a young gal who had leukemia. And so she spent a lot of time at Stead's Children's Hospital in Iowa City. And so we were looking for ideas in terms of how we could spend our money. And so she said, I was really bored. She said, I laid in a bed for so much. I had really had nothing to do. So she said, have you ever heard of joy jars? And we're going, no, what the heck is a joy jar? So she brought hers along, and basically what it is, and especially for middle school kids and younger, it's just a jar like this, a plastic container, and there's like a squeeze ball, and there's a race car for the boys. There's some other little gadget thing. There's, let's see, what else have we got here? Just a little thing that you can squeeze, and let's see what else is in there. Oh, okay. If they have like notes and cards they want to hang on to, so it's a little clip. So anyhow, we gathered a bunch of this stuff and we returned the favor, and Mercy One Hospital, we delivered, and the Builders Club helped us deliver those to the children's section at the hospital and gave them a bunch of joy jars. And then we also sent a bunch down to Stead's Family Hospital, Children's Hospital. So that was probably one of the neatest things. And the kids really, they had to put the whole thing together. They had to gather everything and put it together. So anyhow, and then we've done some standard things. We did holiday cards for the National Guard, who's now over in Poland. So those are some of the things that we've done. Just lots of fun things.
Great. And how often do you meet?
We meet twice a month.
Mhm.
Yep. So both Lincoln Intermediate and then also John Adams Middle School that John Rodriguez is heading up. Way to go, John.
Yay, John.
That's it. Oh, I should say, so we have K kids. So Jim Dane would be interested in this. So we are going to apply for the LaRue grant is what we're going to do to get that club started. So there's some good money to get started with startup expenses.
Mhm.
Do you have a charter date, Jim, for the K kids?
We do not. We're going to have our first official meeting. We have 24 kids signed up. That'll be Monday, February 6th. So then I think at that time, then we will send in the charter at that point when we know how many kids we have. And then we'll set a date. Would you like to come?
I think so. I'm gonna
Yeah.
try to make it, and we'll invite Sue too if she's available, but you bet. And
You're
Linda,
all invited.
and Linda, yeah.
Jim, I hope I get an invitation also.
You absolutely positively have one
All right, thank you.
anytime.
Okay, does Gary, you have anything to share, or anybody that hasn't said anything? Marilyn, give us one of your fun things you do in K Kids.
Well, this last meeting, we basically tied scarves, and I'm not sure where they're going to go yet. In previous years, we've taken them to People City Mission, but I think we tied about 37 scarves. And then we started working on what we were going to do. We only meet once a month. And then next week, the kids are going to be making Valentines for senior citizen. And actually a couple of hopefully 4 Key Club members are going to come down because it's a Key Club project. And they've enlisted the K Kids to help make Valentines. And I think a couple of the Key Club officers are coming to just kind of be there and thank them for the project and assist. So that'll be fun. They're looking forward. I know the Key Club kids are looking forward to it. So we did that last year too. It was fun.
Our builders, before COVID, we used to go visit retirement homes more often than we do. We haven't done that at all since COVID, but the kids loved, and we would just walk down the hall and 2 by 2 go into the rooms just to, talk with them. And some of the kids were scared to death, and they said, what will we say? And I said, just ask them about their family. Everybody likes to talk about their family. Well, then, so they come out, they go in scared to death, they come out and they're just all smiles. And that was just one of their most favorite things to do. And one time we went and just played games with people in their activity room. And one time we went and did cards with them, but the builders now is so big that they can't do that as well. But in fact, they had trouble keeping in charge of the kids. They got out of hand. So I asked Lisa if there was an old Kiwanis bell I could have. And so she got into storage and found me an old bell. And so that president, she rings that bell and everybody gets quiet, and it's kind of fun to see. But anyway, so yeah, it's a lot of fun and because they're so big, there's 60 of them, 50 or 60, we break up into kind of groups and rotate. So they'll work on a blanket and maybe a dog toy. And I sat with them one time trying to teach them the pledge, but I don't know, or do something with the pledge. But yeah, it's fun, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
And we did take advantage of the LaRue grant at our K Kids. And this year, for the first time since COVID, we were able to go shopping. Every year we purchase some gifts for some of our backpack kids. We don't know anything about who they are. We just have an age and a dollar amount per kid. And we usually have enough parents that go and help. And the kids absolutely love shopping for somebody else in their age range.
That's great.
I would probably say something about Lux. I think one of the favorite things that we did was actually a fundraiser, and it was a coin drive at Lux Middle School. We got 3 of those large 5-gallon water jugs that go in the water dispensers. We got 3 of those and put one in each of the pods at Lux Middle School, and did a coin drive for about, I don't know, I think it was probably about 4 weeks. Might have been 6 weeks, I don't remember. But we raised about $2,300.
Wow.
And that money was divided evenly between Shriners Hospital and also the Humane Society. Those were the projects that the kids decided and voted on themselves. So it was really neat, very successful in my book.
So what did you tell the kids? I mean, anybody that had coins just dropped them in, or
Yeah. The kids, the entire school was invited to bring coins and put them in there, and that there were posters right next to those that said where the money would be going. And the kids really donated. And we had people writing we had some checks in there from parents. So I mean, it was very successful.
Do any of you do trick or treat for UNICEF? Our kids have done that forever, and they love that. Do any of you guys do that?
We did that for COVID, but we haven't since COVID. I think we'll try to start that again next year. They go with the Key Club. The Key Club and Builders Club go together, but we didn't. It stopped during COVID, and the Key Club went out this year, but they decided to do it so late that we couldn't get our students organized to go with them. But next year, I think we will.
Yeah, we used to do it with Circle K, but now we just have parents go with us, and that they always kind of like that a lot. That's one of their favorite because they dress up in their costumes and everything. But thanks, Gary, or Steve. That's a great idea. Ours do a penny drive or something like that, and they outdo each other. I don't know. Each room has it, and if you put in $1, it takes away points or something like that. I don't quite, but they've never made anything like $2,300. So that's really
well. And we did do a contest with it too. That the pod that got the most, we handed out ring pops, those little ring pops to all because I mean that's like 90 kids. Right. So we had to buy like 90 ring pops at Sam's Club to satisfy that group of people. But it was worth it. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's a great idea. And I think that they know what's going for. That's kind of makes it, really special. But that's a great idea. Have any of you ever done pop tabs? Our builders have done that for almost 20 years. It goes to Ronald McDonald House, and they, learned about where the money went for that they helped raise through the pop tabs. And then they have, each room has a thing, and they go around and collect them. And then we take them up to Omaha, the pop tabs, but they're like in the millions now. They keep track, and that's some very simple, and most people are willing to do that. Even if they don't drink pop so much anymore, they have other things, I guess. So Mick, that would be an easy one of your first projects, to collect pop tabs if you'd want.
Well, I'm definitely got my ears open here. Our student council has done a number of things in the past. We've done pennies for patients. We do a chuck your change where we have the students out front with a bucket as the students get dropped off by their parents in the cars. We've raised a few $1,000s each year in prior years for the Children's Cancer Award here in Iowa City. So we've done this necessarily for Builders Club, but we've got a little bit of fundraising experience for our student council, which is, in our case, is the same group of young people. So definitely very willing to incorporate some new ideas, though. That's
great. So you're not kind of starting from scratch if you have student council too, right?
Yeah, with the student council has been going on for decades, but it's time that we've incorporated into the Kiwanis model. And because Kiwanis meets every other week, we still kind of do our regular student council things on the off weeks. So we get to bring some of that institutional knowledge into the Builders Club.
That's great. That is great. I'm so glad to hear that. Well, good luck, and that sounds great.
Thank you.
I'm just gonna say it's a great marriage, working with Mick and the student council, and they are amazing people. And we've done a few things already, but I'm taking notes like mad. We did do the bell ringing for the Salvation Army. We had our members of the Builders Club assist the Kiwanis Club, and in actively ringing the Salvation Army bell. And we find that people give a lot more when there's a Builder Club member out there ringing the bell out front. So that's one of our ideas anyway.
You mean a cute little girl brings in more money than old bald-headed guys?
For sure. Definitely.
That's true. One thing we do is the advisors pick the builder of the year, and they keep track or the students keep track of who comes to the meetings and who does and one of their biggest things is recycling. And so they go around and pick up all the recycling for the school, and they actually pay to have the recycling taken away. And it's like $400 or $500. So then they have to raise the money for that. But so it goes for the whole school and the church. The recycling is paid for and picked up by the builders. So that's been an ongoing project for almost 20 years. But so I lost my train of thought. What was I saying?
Builders of the year.
Oh yeah. So they keep track of who does all that. And then we have a builder of the year, and that is given away at graduation, and it's for an 8th grader. And that the scholarship goes to Key Leader. So we always send 1 or 2 kids from our Builders Club, and it's a scholarship, and we make a big deal about how special it is. And so anyway, the parents always look forward to who's going to get to go to Key Leader.
Excellent.
Anything else? Oh my gosh, we're going to get out on time. That makes me so happy. So do you mind getting all these resources we're going to send you?
That's good.
That's okay. Okay, well, I think Lisa said she has everybody's email, and I have them, but this would be concise. And Jim and I will get together and we'll send all that out. And then you'll have Jim's email, Jim Dane, and you can ask him any hard questions that you have.
No, save them for Sue. No,
Any
save 'em for Sue.
easy questions come to me, but all the hard ones go to him. So. Well, thank you very much. I can't tell you how exciting it was to have all you here. Thank you for your sharing. It's been a wonderful time. We thought maybe, I don't know, once a quarter, once a semester, we'll have this again. So I guess we'll bid you all good night if there aren't any last minute comments. All right.
Thank you, Sue.
All right.